So it's the end of chapter 3. You just beat Mr. Antenna, and... But what if you didn't want to lose? I'm not sorry to anyone who ignored the spoiler warning, by the way. I gave you enough time to click off and play the game. Skip to this time code if you want to see the actual guide, because this first bit is just me yapping for fun. So not only is this like the coolest unwinnable fight in a game ever, but it's also like the coolest technically winnable fight ever. And also is like the hardest fight in Deltarune as of now. Like I didn't die a single time throughout my replays of chapter 1 and 2. And I also didn't die during anything in chapter 4, even the secret boss of chapter 4, which I will not be showing because I really don't want to spoil people who just finished chapter 3 and want to do this fight before chapter 4. And considering I died like no more than 20 times on this fight, I'd say it is actually pretty hard. So I thought I'd tell you guys my strategy for this fight and discuss the attacks to give a somewhat fun guide on this fight for the people that are like really struggling with this fight. Also, if you enjoyed the video, please consider liking and subscribing, it'd mean a lot. So to start off, here's the healing items I brought into this fight. Multiple reviving items for whenever a character like Susie or Ralsei dies. Because if they die in this fight, they are not coming back without a reviving item. Chris can come back with Ralsei's heal spell, although Chris will be low enough to be one-shot. So you better be dodging really well on the turn you revive him on. Unless you have around 14 magic on Ralsei, in which you can only heal like 79 health, leaving Chris at -1 health, where you can heal him basically to full health in the next turn. It helps to have the blue ribbon from gambling! But it can be dangerous not having all 3 party members going into an attack though. My friend really wanted me to bring this up. You should probably also have the revive dust for whenever 2 party members are down, because that is likely to happen. Having items that heal multiple party members like the top cake are really nice things to bring into this fight, because at some point during the fight you're probably going to have a turn where your party members will all be extremely low. TV dinners and deluxe dinners are for healing low health party members, or if you really want to save TP. Like, duh. For equipment I have the Saber 10, Dealmaker, and Silver Card on Chris. Although I just like having money, so I'd recommend the Ginger Guard for the extra 1 defense. For Susie I have the Toxic Axe and the Shadow Mantle, which is obtainable in this chapter for getting S ranks on both round 1 and round 2. And then going into the S rank room in between rounds and coming back at the end for the special secret, which I will not spoil. I'm sorry if you missed it, because this fight might be a bit harder without it. Also Silver Card again, because I like money. Again, probably swap to the Ginger Guard. For Ralsei I have the Fiber Scarf, Royal Pin, and Jevel's Tail for the extra magic and attack. Not that you'll be attacking with him at all in this fight. If you want an easier time reviving Chris, here's the equipment my friend had on Ralsei. Having these special pieces of equipment is not required at all, but I just use them because they're like really good generally. Other than the Shadow Mantle, which is really important, and on Susie because it makes you take way less damage, helping a crap ton with attacks that can often one-shot. Alright, on to the fight. Now getting into the strategy for this fight, first turn you should hold your breath, as it is vital to dodging attacks in this fight because your soul's base speed is way too slow to dodge attacks like the one where he splits the soul box. Attack with Susie and guard with Ralsei to start building TP, and also stop Ralsei from dying immediately. You're going to want to have both Chris and Ralsei guarding during as many turns as you can, both to build up TP for Susie to use Rude Buster, and to keep both Chris and Ralsei alive, as it does so much more damage than only attacking with Susie. And still more than your full team attacking, which is really dangerous as you could take massive damage on Chris and Ralsei if you aren't guarding. Like, keep in mind, even if you are guarding sometimes, you can just get straight one-shot by these attacks. Like, Susie's the only one safe from one-shots, as the Shadow Mantle, I think, keeps her from getting one-shot from some of these attacks. Your main healers will be Ralsei and Chris, because Chris does like no damage in this fight and is almost useless other than having like extra TP and extra healing opportunities. Ralsei is just good for healing in general if you have spare TP, so it's a no-brainer that he's also a healer. Basically, only Susie will be doing any damage in this fight, and keep in mind, you do not want any party members dead in this fight, like at all. You want to keep that at a minimum, especially if you run out of reviving items. Because losing a party member like Susie makes this fight so much harder, because that's a major portion of your total health just completely gone and also your main attacker gone. While Chris's damage adds up the more party members are dead, it still is just not ideal to only have like 160 or 350 health instead of your max of 490 total health. Like, maybe it's not as bad if you aren't doing pacifist, but I still would really recommend keeping all party members alive. I recommend keeping health high if you can, but at the same time, letting party members like Chris or Susie take a turn without healing at like 90 health isn't the biggest deal. Rousey should be kept at like above 100 health for the most part, as the knight hits him like a fucking truck. If you're having a hard time trying to dodge attacks in this fight, I'd really recommend just eyeing the bullets or attacks more than your soul for a lot of the attacks in this fight, because you should always have an idea of where your soul is in your peripheral vision. So moving accordingly by following the bullets works well just for bullet hells in general, I think. Take this with a grain of salt though, that's just how my brain works when I'm playing the game, and you might be different. All this to really say, try not to get hit as much as possible, which is like, duh. But seriously, knowing to only be guarding with Chris and Rousey for the most part, and attacking with only Susie is immediately what got me to win this fight. Like the first time I tried this strat, I reached the end of the fight for the first time and won. Also, before we get into the first attack of this fight, can we just appreciate how fucking awesome this song is? Sorry for any deaf people that play Deltarune. Now onto the attacks and patterns. Keep in mind, you are going to need a pretty good reaction time for this fight. First attack is not hard at all really. I always stay low at first, then move up and over the PK Starstorm looking attacks, and then go in between them to slowly reach the right side of the box. Then pay close attention to the slow bullets that slowly explode out of them. This attack really isn't scary, it's all about just keeping calm, which is something I can't say for all the attacks in this fight. By the second turn, you should have Rude Buster ready to go, and will be able to keep chaining them together considering how much TP you'll get from each attack he does. The second attack, while it can trip you up, it's all about multitasking, dodging each sword, and knowing which one's coming next at all times. Which can be hard if you aren't completely locked in, but like, how could you not be considering how awesome this fight is? The third attack can mess you up if you didn't listen to me when I said you should hold your breath at the beginning of the fight. This one can either just do repeated horizontal or vertical slashes, and only horizontal or vertical, not alternating at least for this attack. It's all about just keeping your eyes on the bullets while moving as close to the walls or floor and ceiling if it's horizontal slashes, and moving accordingly. Which in this footage I did not get. The fourth attack is the first one that is generally like really hard, and also reminds you, oh yeah, Sans Undertale. You really just gotta have good eyes for that one. Sorry for any blind people that play Deltarune. The fifth attack is probably the second easiest attack of the fight in my opinion. Once you realize that the attack follows where your heart is, you quickly realize that if you stay in the middle or somewhat towards the bottom of the screen, you can somewhat telegraph the attack and where to go. You still gotta react fast though, don't think this attack is actually easy. The sixth attack is the same as the first one, so I don't got much to say about it really. Seventh attack is similar to the third attack with a major difference. He starts doing both horizontal or vertical cuts with them alternating. Again, just be as focused as you can and move accordingly while hugging the walls and or the ceiling. This is the point where you might actually get hit by one of this red slashes if you haven't held your breath like I told you to! Eighth attack is really messed up, I'm not gonna lie. I really recommend going into this attack with Rousey at high HP, or at least defending, because you can lose him really easily here. Hell, you can just lose the fight really easily here if you aren't ready for this at all. Like, there is no shame in thinking this fight is absurdly difficult, because even this one usually always trips me up at some point, with the swords going in a circle and it feels extremely hard to follow at points. Like, this attack does so much damage if you aren't quickly able to get back into the circle. Ninth attack is really hit or miss for me, and it usually never misses. Having to stay in the sword circle while moving accordingly to the swords that are trying to hit you is a multitasking hurdle that I can barely handle myself. I'd probably say like, focus the circle while eyeing the swords, but I'm not really sure how good of advice that truly is. This attack also just insta-kills really easily compared to most of the attacks in this fight. Like, I've gotten hit 3 times with all characters going into the attack at max health, and died. The 10th attack is a harder version of the 5th attack, having it start with 3 slashes immediately, then after 2 sword swings he starts doing 4 slashes. Again, quick reaction speed is key here. Also, I just want to mention how cool the knight looks in this attack. Honestly, I wasn't sure if they would be able to make a design for the knight that would live up to the hype, but they did, and it's as badass as I ever could have wanted. 11th attack is a retread of the first attack, but now instead of the slow bullets fading, they start just turning red and homing in right on you. This attack can be hard to dodge, but when you slide in between them just perfectly, it feels so badass. That's how I describe the whole fight, like, it's just so badass and I wouldn't have it any other way. I'd say go towards the top right corner as the first few bullets are easy to dodge, then giving you more time to dodge the bullets to the left that start homing in on you last. 12th attack is rough. The knight starts doing diagonal cuts, and holding your soul towards the bottom middle of the box and even the corner will probably make you slide right into bullets, with you getting comboed super hard if you don't have the health to survive the attack. Like you can see here, I made it out barely with Rousey at 1 health. The 13th attack is similar to the 10th, but he decides that he wants to be Sans Undertale again, with him spamming slashes that make you go in a circle similar to the final attack of Sans' fight, with Susie going pale as well. It's definitely not as hard to dodge as the original Sans attack, with that one being way tighter. But if you aren't ready for this one will probably make you go, "Holy shit, chill the fuck out," which was my exact reaction to this fight. At this point in the fight, attacks just start repeating with them being at their harder forms that I've already talked about. But at turn 14, I got him to around this much health, to where he started glowing white, signifying that he's going to do his big bad attack. And his big bad attack is... fucking awesome, being similar to Asriel's final attack in Undertale. And like, I know what you're thinking. 1, Damien almost died. 2, is Asriel the knight? And to that I say, yeah bro, I'm not gonna lie, I was not locked in while getting footage of that attack. And I also have no fucking clue. But I think it might be Newbert low-key. Like, let me ask you this. Have we ever seen Newbert and the knight in the same room? Exactly. And also, if you got this far, you won the fight. And just so you'll try this fight out yourself, I won't show you what happens, because this literally came out 2 days ago as I'm writing this, and I want people to experience this sick ass fight themselves, even though you just watched a whole video on it. And you'll probably just look up what happens, because as we all know, with most indies with really cult-like fan bases, most people don't actually play the game, they just watch people play it and say they did. Thank you so much for watching. I really wanted to make this video because 1, I love this fight so much, it's easily my favorite fight in the game. Just like the spectacle of winning something that you're not supposed to win is so fun to me. Like, I love when games do that, like easily a top 10 thing in a game. 2, my aunt couldn't beat the final boss of chapter 4, at least immediately. Along with many other people just saying that chapter 3 and 4 are like way too difficult, like they ramp up the difficulty way too much, which I really don't understand personally, but I really thought it would be nice to make a guide on this boss just to help people out. Special thanks to Signal Noise for the night art and one of the versions of this thumbnail, and also the Gangster Starwalker art, because I made 2 thumbnails and I liked them both so much that I just used both. A link to his channel will be in the description. I don't know how to end this video, so again, like and subscribe. Yeah!